today's conversation is going to be hot and spicy because I'll be talking about a controversial opinion on how to forgive your parents. A controversial opinion on how to forgive your parents, especially parents that do not deserve forgiveness and parents that hurt you deeply. So I'm going to start with a story. I was born in a dysfunctional home, and my parents are two lovely people, but somewhere along the line, they couldn't have a lovely relationship. And I'm the last child of 4 children, so a family of 6. And I had so many things that I needed to deal with. It would be some form of abandonment and neglect. My father had stroke when he was 33 going to 34. I think because of that, it spiked his anger. He was probably angry with life because he was doing well before that time. He was a doctor, doing pretty well, really, really well. And then stroke came in, and I suspect that just messed him all up. And because of that mess up, everything around him started getting messed up because he was bleeding emotionally, he was bleeding physically. Like, he must have thought that, with the stroke, a whole lot of things went wrong in his life, from being a medical doctor to being paralyzed. That's a very terrible place to be. So it affected him, and part of the impact of that stroke was obviously anger and so many other things that I may not be able to articulate here. And I experienced the anger, I saw it, I tasted it, I felt it. And being the last child of 4 children in a Nigerian and an African family, it comes with so much, because people are going to dump on you, they are going to do a whole lot of things, including bullying you. And then being a female, it comes with so many other things, which is they expect you to center men. And you decentering men means that, oh, you're a feminist or you do not like men or something like that. And people really do not care whether you're happy or not. They just want you to be married. Like, just go get married because it's part of the cultural obligations and religious obligations, that a Nigerian or an African family expects you to fulfill. And once you don't fulfill your life in a way that they understand, or in a way that pleases them, you become an outlier or an outcast, a whole lot of stuff going down the drain. So bottom line, when I was growing up, one of the things that I needed to understand was obviously how to forgive my parents and how to forgive my, how I was raised, my parents, my custodians, and everybody else that I felt hurt me one way or the other. Because in all of these things going on, there was also the sexual exposure and abuse. Because of course, when you take children to stay at a friend's house, or expose them to your family friends or your uncles and aunties, or expose them to other people who are not family members. In fact, family members also are sexually abusive. Some of them can be. So all of those things put together were part of the inheritance of coming from a dysfunctional home. And that really happened to me. And then I needed to start my walk afresh with God, and I needed to forgive the people that obviously hurt me. And I needed to forgive what I felt and how I felt about my parents. But the forgiveness didn't come easily, because most of the time you have a reason to hold them in unforgiveness. Most of the time how you feel is validated. Most of the time you're wondering, if only they had, if only they had. And then some of these parents also obviously are still perpetrating the abuse, or still trying to emotionally abuse you or bully you, or still trying to emotionally gaslight you, or try and make it look like, oh, they should be the center of your life, and if they're not the center of your life, something is wrong. Some of these parents are still a handful. Like, they are still manifesting strange behaviors and are not necessarily repentant. Some of them are actually still perpetrating the abuse. So imagine trying to forgive some parents who are not even repentant, who are not conscious of what they're doing, and some are conscious of what they're doing, but they don't care. And then some of them genuinely don't give a damn about whatever is going on. For them, they are abusive, they are narcissistic, like crazy stuff going down the drain. And then here you are trying to heal yourself, and the people you're trying to heal yourself from are not going to therapy. And they don't even believe that you need therapy, because for them, they didn't do anything wrong. They only raised you how they were raised. or some of them don't even care, like they don't see themselves, or some see themselves and pretend that they don't. A whole lot of crazy stuff, really. So here you are trying to heal, and then the people you are healing from are still around you, and the people you're healing from may still be living with you, or you're living with them, or the people you're healing from are still hurting you. And somewhere along the line, you have to move on with your life. You have to embark on your healing journey. You have to choose yourself. So how exactly are you going to forgive the unforgivable, or forgive the unrepentant, or forgive people who don't care? The first thing I need you to know is that how I was able to forgive the people that hurt me is to take them to the feet of Jesus, because I couldn't do it on my own. Like, I still saw some of them, I still heard from some of them are still as abusive as they were. In fact, now it's pressed down, shaking together, running over with their abuse and abusive tactics, and I couldn't do it alone. Some of them still triggered my triggers. So I had to hand them over to Jesus. I just told God, I don't know how you created these people. I wasn't there when you created them. I just need to forgive them. Like, I need to move on with my life. And every time I see them or talk to them, I don't want to be as angry as I used to be. And I don't want to be angry to the point where I'm going to sin. And faithfully, the prayer worked, and it still works. Like, prayer was the most important thing I had to do. Like, I had to say to God, I handed over my pain to Him, my frustration, my anger, everything. And I just said, I have brought this to your throne. Please deal with this. I am done dealing with them. I don't have the capacity to deal with them anymore. Please deal with them. And I started mentioning the names of everybody that hurt me. And I said, help me forgive. And I put their name there. Help me forgive. I put their name. Help me forgive. I put their name. And I said, I am bringing them to you because I have tried to forgive them on my own, but I didn't succeed. Like, these guys come back, and they come back just like Lucifer, and they try to mess me all up again. And here they are at your feet, and it worked. The second thing I did was to analyze what triggers me. So I paid attention to my triggers. What usually triggers me, the statement that triggers me, who triggers me, and how they say what they say. So I just did a mental audit. Why does this trigger me? What don't I like about this? And why does this have power over my emotions? Once I sat down and I analyzed the pain and how this triggers me, I was able to overcome and overpower whatever the triggers were. So the triggers that trigger my trigger, once I paid attention to the triggers, I just reduced the impact and the fire attached to the pain. The third thing I did was honor some of them with the gift of distance, because some of these people are not going to change, and I don't want them to change me. I am healing, and I've healed, and I'm still on my journey. I don't want any strange person to stress me. So I just honor some of them with the gift of distance. Little or no contact. Once I see that you stress my nervous system, I just hand you over to Jehovah. I don't need to talk to you. There are 8 billion people. Go talk to other people. Leave me out of the drama. Of course, they don't like it, but I like it. It gives me peace, and that's all that matters. So I hope this was beautiful for you. Please remember to subscribe. Please share this with people. Forgiveness is not easy to do, but forgiveness is beautiful to experience. And you can forgive, but you don't have the capacity to forget, because your brain stores messages. And you can forgive and not necessarily restore. Forgive them and let them be. Let them be. There are some you may decide to restore. Cool, good for you. And there's some you may not decide to restore, and it's totally fine. Whatever it is, I am rooting for you. I'll see you next week, Friday. I love you.